I love horror. It's one of my favorite genres, despite how poorly I usually handle it in most cases. The style, feel, designs of the monsters, and the tension in the story all make for an extremely engaging experience that I can't get enough of. Except when all of that is reduced to cheap jump scares. But that's another video. What I enjoy most in horror is when it's prolonged in an extended series rather than a single movie. This allows the story to be told at a slower pace, have more time for character development amongst a wider cast, more chances for scares, and a longer period of time with which to raise the tensions. There's one subgenre that lends itself well to this format that I am especially fond of in concept, but always ends up disappointing me with its execution. It is that of small-town horror. This subgenre, to me, always seems to have such potential, but is quickly squandered by a single decision that never ceases to baffle me. That decision being, let's make everyone in this town an unlikable, irredeemable asshole. Everyone except the protagonists, right? Ah, fuck it. Make them assholes too. Great idea! I'm sure I could find endless examples of this, and anyone who's aware of more, feel free to post them in the comments. But for this video, I will be using two examples. The Netflix series Ghost Wars and The Mist. Despite the stupid name, Ghost Wars isn't actually that bad. The Mist, on the other hand, is absolutely atrocious. I would highly recommend that nobody watch it. There is more reasons than just the everyone's an asshole problem that I won't get into lest I derail this entire video. I'll try to avoid spoilers for the most part, but there's definitely going to be some unavoidable ones, so I'll give a warning when they arise. So, first let me get into a summary of both shows for everyone who is fortunate enough not to watch them. This won't be hard because another problem with small-town horror that I won't get into this time is that they're all essentially the same plot. The stories begin in generic isolated backwater horror town numbers 361 and 442. Everything's normal, and our protagonists hate being here because everyone hates them because they're the protagonists. For no discernible reason, though it's implied to be due to the evils of science, shit hits the fan, and reality tears itself a new one. In the case of Ghost Wars, ghosts happen. In the case of The Mist, mist happens. Pretty self-explanatory so far. Things progress, the survivors of the clusterfuck band together and unite against their common enemy for a solid half-second before going all Lord of the Flies like they always do. People die in various ways, no solution is found, and eventually everyone dies and our protagonists escape. There are a few minor differences between the two shows, but you get the point. They're basically the same. So why is this a problem? I feel like the point of setting a horror series in a small town is that it's a small, close-knit community where everyone knows each other and has some relationship with the others in their town. And as the horror event engulfs the town, we get to watch these relationships get strained and slowly break down, revealing the darker sides of characters and showing how quickly a community can collapse in the face of unimaginable horror. Yet you never get that in either of these shows, because everyone's already a horrible person. There was never a close-knit community. Somehow these towns just managed to survive for decades, even though everyone in them hates each other. It makes absolutely no sense. I've even read The Mist after the fact to compare it to the show. Obviously, there are extensive differences in all things, including the nature of The Mist itself. I knew this before I even touched the book, but the most relevant difference in regard to this video is the characters. As expected with a small town, all the characters seem to know each other to some extent. A lot of them are friends, or friendly with each other, some of them dislike each other, some of them downright hate each other, but the most notable aspect of this is they act like functional civilized human beings and don't start berating each other over the most inane bullshit or start bickering at the slightest provocation, unlike in the show. And this is not a result of The Mist. This is a staple of the show from the word go. Why is this a problem? Because in this series about supernatural fog from another dimension bringing to life the fears of those caught within it, the fact that this town managed to exist for more than an hour without everyone killing each other long before the series even started should not be the hardest thing to comprehend. My suspension of disbelief ended before the mist even showed up. Ghost Wars isn't nearly as bad in this regard, but it's still not great. Most of the characters are outright hostile to the main character for reasons that are so poorly explained or so nonsensical that they might as well have not even bothered explaining it in the first place. If I recall correctly, the main character was the only one they all seemed to hate, but that doesn't make any more sense. Spoiler here, the reason everyone hates him is because his mother was a witch or something, so they drove her out of town, but insisted that her son, the protagonist, stays. Why they wanted him to stay if they hate him, and throughout the rest of the show, pre-Ghost Attack, they're all trying to get him to leave is beyond me. Analyzing plot holes isn't the point of this video, but it still proves the point of it being unrealistic. The motivations for everyone hating him are so poorly thought out, they can't even be kept straight for 13 episodes. The other problem is that deaths are a positive when they should be a negative. The point of horror is for you to connect with the characters you're watching and be worried for their safety. You want them to survive their ordeal and make it out alive. Every time a character dies, it should bring about distress and sadness that another beloved character has fallen to an unspeakable horror and that anyone could be next. But you never get this. Every character is so unlikable that every death is cathartic. When I was watching The Mist, I thought to myself, if every one of the main characters were brutally killed right now, I'd be happy that I don't have to put up with their bullshit anymore. That is not a good thing. A character dying should not elicit the response, "Oh, thank fucking God." Obviously, it's not bad to have a few of these. There's nothing wrong with having at least one secondary antagonist, but this was my response to every single death. Going into spoilers here for The Mist. In the last episode, the protagonists survive and escape the mall where they had been trapped, and because they're as much assholes as the others inside the mall, they decide to break down the doors so that everyone gets killed by the mist. I did not give a single shit about even one of these characters dying, major or otherwise. In fact, in the whole show, there's only one character who I was actually sad to see die, and I never even learned her name. She was the only reasonable, genuinely nice character the show had to offer. Though I'm not convinced that the only reason I liked her was because she had so little screen time, I never got the chance to hate her like everyone else. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, in the novella, there is only a single character whose death is cathartic. That being when Mrs. Carmody is killed just before the protagonists escape the grocery store near the end of the book. Other than her, none of the other deaths are cathartic. There are several characters who are clearly supposed to be antagonistic, but they are never painted as these insane, unreasonable assholes who are just sitting around waiting to get into a plot-progressing or drama-inducing, meaningless fight. Even when directly opposing the protagonists, they are still painted sympathetically, and their deaths never really feel deserved. The situation is similar in Ghost Wars. Though the characters are far more likable and the protagonist isn't a complete asshole, you still don't really feel bad when one of them dies. It's been a while since I watched the show, but I can't recall a single character that I was hoping would survive. Maybe the main character, but even he wasn't someone you were really rooting for. More someone you were just indifferent to. While this is slightly better than hating him, it's not by much. The problem is that he and all the secondary and tertiary protagonists are at best tolerable. I'd almost wonder if it would be better to hate them, because at least then you'd feel something towards them rather than just apathy. In both shows, you don't feel for any of these characters, because they're all horrible. There's no tension in watching them enter dangerous situations, wondering if they'll make it out alive, and there's no relief if they survive. The tension is from them still being alive, and the relief comes when they finally get killed. I don't think I need to say that this is the exact opposite reaction you should be trying to achieve, but clearly that wasn't evident to the people making these shows. If you want to make an effective horror of any subgenre, the characters should be likable people that you can relate to so that the audience becomes invested in their story and their survival. Sorry this video is a bit short. I didn't have nearly as much to ramble about here as I did in the last video. But I think this one was more concise and to the point rather than the last one where I feel like I just stumbled over the same basic idea over and over again. Though I will say this one definitely seemed to go from analysis to ranting critique on The Mist pretty quickly. I feel like I did little to hide my contempt for the Netflix adaptation, but that's because it's an absolutely atrocious disgrace of a show that can only claim to be based off the book because it happens to feature Mist. I'd sooner believe it was some AI-generated knockoff rather than an official adaptation. For anyone who is considering watching The Mist, let me warn you that, as I briefly mentioned above, instead of strange creatures from another dimension, like the original novel and 2007 film, the Netflix series went with the utterly baffling decision to make the monsters manifestations of the fears and regrets of those who are trapped within the mist, or some bullshit like that. I honestly can't understand the reasoning for this, as it really does nothing except to throw in some meaningless backstory that nobody actually cares about. Okay, I'm done ranting about The Mist now. Seriously, don't watch it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please press all the buttons and follow me in all the places. I hope to see you next time, but until then, good night.